It's been a while since I actually reviewed something, and this is the first time I actually reviewed a finished TV series. Last time I did post commentary would be Mafia 3. But I'm here to review Sons of Anarchy. I recently finished the series yesterday, or actually today, because it was like at 12:30 a.m. Um, I was determined to get it done. So I'm gonna rank the seasons. I'm gonna talk about the themes and the philosophical aspect of the show, and I guess give you my take on it. So season 4 is the best. Then 7, 5, 2, 1, 6, 3. Boom. Season 3 was horrible. It was boring as fuck. Finally got that out the way. Um, so now the themes and the philosophical aspect, because I can't help myself. Um, when Jax was talking to Marks in the car in season 7, Marks responded with, "Trust cannot live in the same space as secret and lies." It's very fascinating why the writers will put that in the show, because throughout the entire show, every choice, first of all, season 7, the whole thing was built on a lie. His killing the Chinese and everything was built on a lie, because the audience knows that the Chinese didn't kill his wife. It was actually his mother, Gemma. In each relationship and each choice that these characters made, everything was built on a lie. That's pretty powerful. That's pretty powerful stuff right there. And he's basically saying that the truth will set you free. Basically a Bible term. But with all this deception, with all this backstabbing, with all this secrets being passed down from generation to generation, it's very toxic once the person finds out the truth, because it will destroy relationships. It will destroy trust. And you see that throughout the entire show. Season 7 is a perfect example of what happens when a lie is brought upon you. Granted, if you figured out that Gemma killed his wife, he still probably would have killed her, but the ending would have been completely different. The route towards the destination would have been completely different than what it was. Now, let's talk about what's his name, Jax Teller. There's this quote that's in Batman, which says, "You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain." That's pretty powerful, and I know it's a Batman quote, and I'm like quoting so many shit right now, but if you look at Jax Teller, at first he wanted nothing to do with the club. Again, it's like a similar parallel to Godfather. He wanted nothing to do with the family business. Jax didn't really want to be the president. He knew he was going to, but he wasn't ready until season 4, or at least at the end of season 4. He wanted everything to go legit. He was reading his father's manuscripts. He had a different idea of where he wanted the club to take. Season 7, he says, "You know what, forgive me guys, for I really believe that I wanted the club to go to a legit decision, but it's, for some reason it cannot happen. It will never happen." So at that point, it became a do or die. We're gonna be soldiers. We're gonna kill everybody who comes our way. We're no longer fuck around, talk about being legit. Let's be criminals. Let's be who we actually are. And that's very powerful meaning right there, because Jax first started off with this idea, with this vision, and then towards the end he lost sight of that because of losing loved ones, because of the anger that consumed him. And also, when he was talking about the old dude Jury, Jax responds, "There is no vision anymore. It's gone." The show is very dark with its themes. Um, I guess I'm gonna talk about love, but first I'm gonna talk about the relationships, of brotherhood, between Opie and the gang. I guess that that also goes into love. Um, when the season ended, it ended with a Shakespeare. It ended with a Shakespeare quote saying, "Doubt thou the stars of fire. doubt that the sun don't move, doubt truth to be a liar, and never doubt I love. I really found this quote very fascinating, and I should have started the review off of this quote. Because Shakespeare is saying, and also the director, the writers are also saying, that all these exterior motives, all these ideas that is being passed down from generation to generation, what your mother, your father, or your friend is telling you, you cannot trust. Because again, it goes back to trust cannot live in the same space as secret and lies. Because all these secrets and lies, how can you truly trust that person that's giving you advice? That's basically what I got from it. But again, it also says that never doubt I love, which I really found perfect, because throughout the entire show, the series, it is, even though love is for the greater good, or the secrets and lies are for the greater good, because it will destroy relationships, etc. I already touched on that. They lied because of love. They lied because of this and that and the third. The entire series, it is basically, what would you do for love? It's that game that came out 2010. Heavy Rain. That game, which is, in the trailer says, what would you do for love? And in the series, it is, what would you do for love? Jax murdered people to get to Terra. Gemma kept secrets and lies because she loved, her son, and vice versa. And the sacrifices that these men made because of love. What Opie did, sacrificing himself in the jail cell, and many more examples. But it also goes back to that theory that every exterior motive or thoughts, everything that comes out your mouth, you have to think that it's a lie. But you loving another person, you caring for somebody else, that is truth. Love is pure. Doesn't matter how you put it. If you have feelings for her, it is going to be true. Love is pure, and that's one of the things, and especially from Shakespeare's point of view, because he really makes fun of love. Romeo and Juliet, the two kids were like 14 and 13 when they fell in love. And when they fell in love, they're very innocent. They never had sex before. So them loving each other, experiencing that, was very pure. But the adults came in. So when the adults interfered with this pure love, it corrupted it. It wasn't the adults' fault. The adults were trying to help. So Shakespeare, basically in Romeo and Juliet, was trying to say that in this imperfect world, a perfect love cannot sustain it. But, again, if you want to talk about what Jesus Christ did on the cross, that's basically what he did, his love for the world. But also you have, Midsummer Night's Dream and Othello. Othello was about love, but it was mostly about not trusting the person you love. Him believing in people that thought was truly by his side, and doubting his wife. And in the end, everybody gets killed because of his envious nature of what he thought his wife was doing behind his back, not trusting her. And love, will drive you crazy, and, will allow you to kill people. Which I very found fascinating, and that's what I really got from the show. So now, once I guess I'm done talking about the philosophical aspect of what I got, or the themes of love and everything. The show ended was very fascinating. It was very satisfying. Everything was wrapped up. Nothing was left hanging out. But most importantly, how Jax left the show. To me, it was the perfect way to end the show. But really thinking about it, it was kind of comedic how they ended the show. Because I don't think a person in real life will be, maybe it was just the music, but I found it very comedic. But the show was very great, especially how it ended. Because from the start, you were with Jax Teller for 7 years, for people who actually watched it on TV. You were with this dude. You basically grew up with him in a sense. You saw him mature and become a man and become president.
All I gotta do is spawn on us.
At the end of the show, he basically had nothing left to live for, because all his people, everybody that he loved, his family, was dead. This thought just appeared in my brain right now. The entire series, and this also goes to real life, or maybe it's a reflection, what I'm about to speak, of myself, that each man in the TV show wanted redemption. They had something to fight for, and then they lost it. They lost the will to live. For example, Opie, his wife died. He still blamed himself 3 seasons later, saying, "Only if I was in the truck, my wife would still be alive." That's why, when he was in prison, he basically wanted to have a warrior's death, and that's what he got, a warrior's death, and he wanted to be reunited with his wife. He wanted to be redeemed from the sins that he'd committed by having his wife dead, etc. Same thing with Jax Teller, the pain and everything of losing everyone. Literally, he lost everyone in season 7.
There we go.
But especially losing his wife pulled him on this dark path. And until he realized that this path that he was on was corrupting him and was destroying everything and everyone around him. And also knowing that this path that he was on was built on a lie also devastated him. And when he got to the last episode and when Gemma was killed, his mom, and Unser, he felt liberated. He felt a sense of closure. That okay, and that's why, everybody else died. He felt safe, and he was ready to die. He redeemed himself in a sense, and also his kids. His kids was another representation of him. He wanted his kids to hate the idea of him because he wanted his kids to be good men. He didn't want his kids to be killers and horrible like himself. So in a sense, his kids was also a redemption, because your kids are supposed to redeem you from the things that you did in your past. And your kids are supposed to make you proud. So in the end, Jax died as a villain. His idea became corrupted. But also, now I guess this is the reflection part of my life. I'm on this path of, I guess, redemption. I don't know. I'm on this path of manhood. I want to make a name for myself. I have this vision. I have this dream of having my own muffin restaurant. But along the way, it's going to be hard. The vision, the idea has to stay true, has to stay pure. But eventually I will get there. But I'm afraid, what if I do get there and I'm not the same person as I thought I should be? What if this idea have corrupted me in some way, shape, or form? I stated earlier that each man seek redemption, but also as well, each man must come to grasp with the decisions that they made and must live with it, whether it be good or bad. I also stated that I want to go to the Marines, with Ray's College. I still truly believe that, but I'm afraid along the way that it will mess with me mentally, physically, or spiritually, but that's just life. You got to change to order to grow, to order to prosper. But would the ends, for example, the muffin restaurant, would the ends justify the means? I don't know. I wish I had an answer for it, but I don't. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Good night.